Hello, welcome to this special celebration recognising some of the UK's most amazing parks and green spaces. Green flags are this year flying proudly above more sites than ever before, an amazing 2,127 to be precise. During the turmoil of the pandemic, green spaces became lockdown lifelines, places where people could relax, exercise and meet friends and family safely. So the news that record numbers have achieved the Green Flag Award standard is testament to the hard work and dedication of those tasked with looking after these national assets. Green flags aren't simply handed out because someone asks for one, they have to be earned, and our judges ensure that each recipient truly deserves the accolade. The flags would normally be handed out during a series of celebratory events. We had such fun toting this bench up and down the length of Britain, as it always held centre stage during those events. This year, the complications caused by the pandemic meant the bench stayed in the basement and the flags were distributed in a more low-key way. But this is a very special year for the Green Flag Awards. It's 25 years since the first flags were handed out. We couldn't let our Silver Jubilee pass without creating a bit of a do. So this year, in addition to awarding more than 2,000 flags, we're handing out some special awards to recognise the people who do so much to create some of the best parks in the world. To base this event in one park when there are so many fantastic ones would have been a little unfair. And to be honest, even the best parks can be pretty windswept, rain-soaked places in late November. So we've created this virtual park where we have total control over the weather and the wildlife. The Green Flag Awards bring together Keep Britain Tidy, Keep Wales Tidy, Keep Scotland Beautiful and Keep Northern Ireland Beautiful. And of course, we're supported by the Department for Levelling Up, Housing and Communities. Now we'll get to the recipients of our new awards very shortly, but first let's take a canter through 25 years of the Green Flag Awards. My goodness, where have the years gone? Well, Paul Todd is the Green Flag Awards scheme manager. And Paul, despite the difficulties of the pandemic, despite the financial problems which obviously lots of authorities and organisations face, there was no shortage of people wanting not only to acquire green flags, but also to retain the ones that they had.
Another fantastic year for the Green Flag Award. And it really is down to all those dedicated staff and volunteers who work tirelessly to achieve these standards. And yeah, it's been a difficult time for them. People being furloughed, people being off ill, people being redeployed, and through all of that, they've carried on working and continue to deliver Green Flag Award winning parks and green space. And I think, it's true to say whatever's thrown at people in this industry, they work through it and they find solutions and they continue to deliver these fantastic parks and green spaces, which of course we found more valuable than ever over the last 18 months.
I said earlier, these aren't just handed out because somebody says they want one. They've got to really earn them. So there clearly is a certain cachet to having one of these things flying above your park, your open space, whatever it may be.
Absolutely. I mean, our judges are rigorous in their assessment of these parks and green spaces, and achieving a Green Flag Award is a real achievement, and people should be really proud of that. Not every site that applies for Green Flag Award achieves it, and not every site that achieves Green Flag Award maintains it each year. They have to maintain that standard, and that's what's really important. Who'd have thought 25 years ago, just 7 Green Flag Awards? Of course, 4 of them are still flying the flag today, which I think is a fantastic achievement.
You mentioned the judges. These are people who give up their time freely to do this. And it's not just a case of just popping in, having a quick look and saying, yeah, that'll do. They have to obviously judge the park or the space against certain criteria. So it's a lot of work for them, a lot of commitment from them.
A huge amount of commitment. I mean, I often say the judges are the Green Flag Award scheme. Without them, there wouldn't be a Green Flag Award programme. And of course, The majority of them have full-time jobs, and on top of that, they're giving up their time freely to go out and support other people around the country and help them achieve the Green Flag Award standard. So it's the work they do is invaluable.
So have you got any judges who've done the full 25 years?
We do actually. We have 2 of our Green Flag Award judges, of which there's over 1,000 now. 2 of them are still judging after 25 years, and that's Chris Warman and Chris Gordon. Fantastic work they've done, as well as the other Green Flag Award judges, of course, but for them to have been there right at the very start and still judging in our Silver Jubilee year, I think is a fantastic achievement.
25 years under your belt. What of the future for Green Flag Awards?
For the future, we want to see more countries achieving Green Flag Awards. Of course, it's now grown into an international standard. More countries achieving Green Flag Award around the world, and of course more parks and green spaces in the UK achieving Green Flag Award, because that's our ambition, is that everybody, wherever they live in the UK or wherever they live in the world, should have access to a really good quality green space on their doorstep.
Thanks, Paul. So more than 2,000 flags handed out this year, but as I mentioned earlier, in this Silver Jubilee year, we have some special awards to hand over to very deserving recipients. We asked Green Flag award-winning sites to nominate people they felt were worthy of special recognition. Of course, volunteers play a vital role in supporting the organisations that keep parks and green spaces looking tip-top. And our first special award recognises that fact. It's the Volunteer of the Year Award. We have a staggering 15 nominees in this category. They are Brian Sinton, Kath Holmes, Christopher Perry, Claire Cooper, Helen Boyd, Julie Ann Hughes, Kezia Knight, Keith Hunter, Myra MacDonald, Matthew Aspridge, Paul Young, Sandra Crabtree, Anne Warrington, Tom Emery and Valerie Shafter. Well, whittling that huge list down to just one winner proved impossible for our judges, so they decided to choose 2 winners. The first of those is Julie Ann Hughes. Julie Ann had a vision of creating an allotment space for her community on Anglesey, and it's a vision she worked hard to realise. In early 2020, she and a farm contractor started to clear the site. Throughout the year, Julie worked tirelessly with a newly formed allotment holders committee, sometimes spending 10 hours on site, clearing areas and creating a small woodland walk. Work's still ongoing, but Julie's vision is taking shape nicely, and she juggles all that with her job as a postie. And Julie, it can't have been easy doing all this during a lockdown.
I did a rotation system, so I allowed 3 people to go there at one time, but they were 3 people from like total different areas of their allotments, so they were nowhere near each other. And I gave them all like a 2-hour slot each. You know, it's good for mental health, it's good for your well-being, it's good for everything. We've got kids plot, disabled plots, there's all kinds of different things that we actually do there as well. It's not just an allotment.
Well done again, Julie. Well, our second winner in this category is Anne Warrington. Now, when she volunteered to take on the creation and development of the Friends of Riddings Park, Anne didn't really know what she was letting herself in for. She's led the redevelopment activity and engagement part of the project for the past 3 years. She's developed the community cafe and volunteer recruitment and management. And all this while still working full-time as an NHS commissioner. So obviously, Anne, you've become an expert at time management.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, absolutely. At times it's really tough, but you just have to prioritise. The park was my playground as a child. There's such a community spirit, want to work together, and we've got a fantastic team up at the park that help out as well. And then to add that into the community events programme and seeing the events that are so valuable to the community getting together, I suppose that keeps me going and sort of drives me along.
Well done again, Anne. So congratulations to her and of course to Julie Ann. So we've met some of the army of folk who get stuck in and help for the love of it. Now we're going to recognise those for whom maintaining and caring for open spaces is a career. It's our Employee of the Year award, and in the running for this one are Ryan Argent, Brenda Elm, Gordon Mason and George Williamson. Well, competition in this category was so close you could barely slide a piece of paper between the contenders. So once again, we have more than one winner. How many? Well, I'll keep our nominees in suspense just a little longer. But I can end the suspense for one of them. Ryan Argent is one of our winners. Ryan is a gardener working for the Falkirk Community Trust at Helix Park. In fact, he was the only gardener working there at the height of the pandemic. With colleagues furloughed, he was the only employee maintaining the park for almost a year. And he did that whilst helping his gran who was shielding and couldn't leave the house. Ryan said to give 100% customer service and always does everything with a smile on his face. Congratulations, Ryan. What's the best thing about your job?
There's loads of great aspects about my job. I think I love working outside, so the job kind of suits me perfect. Like it's the best job I've ever had. I'd say just like all the tourists that come, just seeing smiles on everybody's faces when they arrive, just keep the place like tidy and obviously the grounds up to at the highest of standards. Because I know how prestigious people would look at the park sometimes, and it's obviously a massive tourist attraction in Scotland, so just to be able to always try and maintain that standard is always a good aim to strive for, you know.
Good work, Ryan. Well, I said we had more than one winner in this category. We actually have two, and the second of those winners is Gordon Mason. Gordon's been a member of the Parks team at Hyndburn Borough Council for the best part of 50 years. He was involved in the borough's very first green flag entry in 2004. In addition to improving the green flag parks physically, Gordon has helped the Friends groups to set up community events and promoted litter and dog fouling campaigns. He's due to retire next summer. So Gordon, after the best part of 50 years, you're presumably going to miss it.
Yes, I will do. You're bound to. I mean, I started in August 72 on my 15th birthday. So I've been there for just over 49 years. Yeah, it'll leave a big hole. I will miss it. There's a couple of job vacancies up, which hopefully they'll be filling in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully they'll be get some young apprentices in, something like that to carry on. And if they're keen, then it's a very healthy lifestyle.
Well, individuals can only do so much, of course. The best results are achieved when people work as a team. Our next award underlines that fact. It's our Team of the Year award. And there are so many excellent examples of teamwork out there that our shortlist of nominations is, well, pretty long. So here we go. In the running for Team of the Year are Newry, Mourne and Down District Council's Forest Parks team, the Rectory Lane Cemetery team, the Armagh City, Banbridge and Craigavon Borough Council Parks and Open Spaces Grounds Maintenance team, the Chard Volunteer Group, Derby Parks Conservation Grazing team, Huntingdonshire District Council's Operations team, the Urban Biodiversity staff and Newquay Orchard volunteers and students, the Friends of Rotten Row, Tidy Randalstown, the Venetian Waterways team, and finally the Parks and Open Spaces team, Weymouth Town Council and the Friends of Green Hill Gardens. So how could the judges pick just one winner out of that lot? Well, they couldn't. So once again, they picked two, and in no particular order. The first of those winners is the team responsible for breathing new life into the Rectory Lane Cemetery of Berkhamsted in Hertfordshire. The team came together with a vision to rescue a burial ground which had been neglected for over half a century. They aimed to transform it into a heritage asset and a beautiful green space to be appreciated and enjoyed by the whole community. And they achieved just that, transforming it into a vibrant and diverse contemporary garden of commemoration. It's also promoting health and well-being. Health and well-being. Not normally words associated with a cemetery, isn't that right, James?
They certainly aren't, and it was really a fundamental part of our vision that we should make sure that the cemetery was made accessible to everybody, and in that respect, we kind of saw it as being an incredibly important open space within the town that people could use. So part of the physical works were to make it as accessible as possible with wheelchair-friendly paths, etc., and trying to make people see that cemeteries aren't necessarily spooky, difficult places to look after, that actually they could be fabulous places to hold events and activities in. So our programme of events was really quite wide, and we've put on all sorts of performances and various artists' projects and all sorts of things really to bring the community in and to see that it's a usable space.
Well done, and keep it up the good work. Well, I said we had 2 winners in this category. So the second of our 2 winners is the Newry, Mourne and Down District Council Forest Parks team. This team is responsible for the operation and development of the council's 3 main forest parks. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, those parks experienced an unprecedented increase in requests to host outdoor activities. So the Forest Park team worked with the council's legal and health and safety departments to make those events happen safely, and they adapted the spaces for new uses. So I guess that one of your main aims during the pandemic was to make better use, different use of what you already had.
Yes, most certainly. I think the primary objective was initially to make things safe as possible that we could. Once we had that established, our aim then definitely became to meet the evolving needs of local communities. A lot of indoor facilities remain closed, and so we very quickly became inundated with commercial and community requests to use our forest parks as alternative spaces then for activities that they were carrying out previously, whether that be yoga, different meetings that were being held, different summer camps, different activities. And that's definitely how we're planning going forward, based on increased, increased visitor numbers and increased at sites then that maybe didn't have our attention in the past.
Well done, John. Now, politicians don't always get the most positive press, but local politicians do play a vital role in ensuring parks and green spaces are given a high priority when it comes to deciding how to share out resources. Our next award shines a light on those local politicians who've been doing just that. It's the Councillor of the Year award. In the running for this one are Councillor Dr. Peter Moulton, Alderman John Smith, and Councillor Declan Salmon. And the winner is Councillor Dr. Peter Moulton. Now, as a Cabinet Member on South Presthaven District Council in Lincolnshire, Peter has championed the delivery of park-based improvement projects. He enthusiastically promotes the value of public parks. He's also led on rewilding projects across the district and actively promotes opportunity for the co-sharing of public realm with wildlife, flora and fauna. So Peter, despite the undoubtedly difficult financial position yours and other councils face, you're convinced that investment in green parks and open spaces is good value for money.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's actually been a focus of ours for several years now, to invest in the parks, to make them better every year. This has included us putting our parks into our corporate plan. That means that it is a significant requirement of our council now that our parks are core to the services that we provide for our residents. The COVID-19 pandemic that came along, the very first thing that we did was we made sure that our parks were accessible for everybody, that we put everything in place, that we maintained them even better during that lockdown period, so that people could exercise their social distancing but still enjoy the outdoors.
Congratulations once again. And of course, thanks to all local councillors who champion the green flag ideal in their areas. Now, green flags don't only fly over the UK's most stunning parks and open spaces. They're also found right across the world because the Green Flag Awards are a truly international affair. Carl McLean is the International Development Manager. Carl, how far and wide do the green flags spread?
Well, Green Flag Award as of 2021 is now being delivered in 15 countries outside the UK. As far east as Australia, New Zealand, and as west as Mexico and the USA, as well as a large number of countries in Europe as well.
Any new recipients this year, people who've won it for the first time?
Yeah, we've got some exciting news. The first award winners in France have won the award from Nantes, including a really world-renowned botanic garden there. Also in Utrecht, one of Netherlands' largest cities, they've been the recipient of a flag for Maxima Park. And then in Turkey, Istanbul applied for 2 parks and were successful with both of them, one of them being a major tourist destination, Yildiz Park.
Are there any benefits for the UK in having this going on in these countries?
Yeah, well, much like Green Flag as a process is about looking at what other cities or countries are doing within the UK, we can equally learn quite a lot from what other countries outside the UK are doing. And this is quite important for us to learn from each other, especially around things like climate change and environmental impact, which it's useful to find out from other countries what they're doing.
How easy have you found it to persuade other countries to take this idea on board? How willing are they to do it?
Yeah, I mean, it varies from country to country in how interested they are in the award programme. We do some promotion in particular countries, but in other countries the award sells itself because they really see the benefits of having an award programme, especially on an international scale, because there isn't another international parks award programme like Green Flag Award anywhere.
What about the practicalities though, the judging for instance? Do you have judges based in the different countries working to your criteria, or do you have judges from the UK going over there to judge?
A bit of both, and that's the exciting part of the award programme internationally. We do train judges in individual countries separately, but also through the International Judges Exchange programme, we're giving judges from the UK and other countries the opportunity to cross borders and learn from neighbouring countries what they're doing with regards to parks management. So
in the future then, further expansion abroad, do you think?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we have a number of new countries interested who I'm in contact with at the moment. But as well as that, we want to support existing countries to increase the number of applicants and create stronger networks within those existing countries as they grow. And we're always seeking to expand and welcome more and more parks into the programme every year and train more judges as well.
Carl, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Well, I mentioned earlier how parks and green spaces have become lockdown lifelines, and the health benefits they provide are well documented. Up and down the land, various initiatives have been aiming to build on and exploit those benefits to the full. So we thought it only right to highlight that fact with our next award. It's the award for the Best Health Initiative. Shortlisted for this award are Portadown People's Park, Growing Together at Shoebury-Ness, Hitchingbrook Country Park, and the Oasis Community Gardens at Worksop. At the risk of repeating myself, any one of those would have been a worthy winner, but the judges had to make a tough choice, and they chose Growing Together at Shoebury-Ness. It's a therapeutic community garden run by local mental health charity Trust Links. The overall aim has been to transform an abandoned wasteland into a calm and beautiful place for local people to be proud of. Late last summer, they created an amazing therapeutic labyrinth with sensory planting providing mindfulness-type experiences for those walking it, improving well-being and creating a sense of calm. And I suspect it's been especially valuable during the difficult times we've all faced recently.
Obviously, the lockdown and the issues with COVID have been really, really impactful for our members, people in the community with mental health problems and learning disabilities. Our Growing Together projects are specifically designed for people to be accessible, inclusive, welcoming, beautiful spaces for people to engage with and then they can feel a real sense of their own value and purpose by getting involved in doing the gardening, by planting things out, by working with nature and wildlife, and having that really lovely safe space to work together.
Well done, growing together. Well, year after year, green flags are presented to parks and spaces that have been at the top of their game for years. But it's always great to hear about once unloved or down at heel spaces which have enjoyed a new lease of life. And that's the reason for our next award. It's the award for Most Improved Space. In contention for this one are Bridge House Pond, Hillrise Local Nature Reserve, Leavesden Country Park, Coronation Park, Peel Park at Salford, the Rectory Lane Cemetery, the Friends of Rotten Row, the Venetian Waterways Great Yarmouth, and Wardown Park. Again, a very impressive shortlist, but the winner is Leavesden Country Park, which is run by Three Rivers District Council in Hertfordshire. Now, Leavesden was primarily a dog walking space with dated facilities, no volunteer engagement and very little other activity. But then came an investment of £1.2 million to create a special place that celebrates the heritage of the area by restoring original features, enhancing areas and creating a stunning sculpture trail. In addition, there are now accessible pathways, a remembrance garden, a sensory garden, improved habitats and an education and wildlife hub. Well, that certainly must have taken some doing in these stringent times.
We've been working on this project for over 6 years. It was even in conception before I got involved as lead member 6 years ago. So I'm very thankful to the members and officers who've been working on this for many years, but also we've had, support from the National Lottery, we've had support from Warner Brothers and many other partners. And what's exciting now is just a few weeks ago, I was there with volunteers. So the usage has changed. We're bringing in the history of the area. Where the park is used to be hospitals, and we're bringing in that history and heritage. And it's just, it's been great. And it's something I want to see continue so that people can be proud of the history of the community that they live in.
Well done, and keep up the good work. Now, as I said earlier, Green Flag Awards are widely recognised as a mark of excellence. But there's never any harm in underlining that message and ensuring it's spread far and wide. Our next award recognises the best promotion of the Green Flag Award. And in this category, we had one runaway winner. That winner is the Wildlife Trust of South and West Wales. This is an organisation that's excelled in creating innovative and wow visitor wildlife experiences using new and exciting technology. And they received further support from the Welsh Government to develop a brand new VR experience, Wild About Park Slip Nature Reserve. Now, you can access it from any computer and it'll give you a fully immersive tour of the park without you ever moving from your keyboard. Now, you could put on a VR headset or you can use your keypad or your mouse because you're in charge of the camera. You can pan around, look up and down, take a closer look at stuff that you're interested in. It's the next best thing to being there. But is there a danger that people will say, well, we don't need to go to the park, we've seen it all on the computer?
No, not at all. That's the beauty with the experience that we've created, is that it is just a 2-minute taster experience. So we haven't shown the whole of the reserve of the variety of habitats that we have there. So it is just that taster experience to whet people's appetite and to raise awareness of the reserve and the trust and that the work that we're doing on site as well, and to make people think, oh, do you know what? This looks a really nice place. So there's some really cool experiences that we can have here.
Well, of course, you've won awards in the past. Now you've got this one to add to your collection. Another feather in the cap.
Yes, yeah, we're as a wildlife trust, we really try to think outside the box in terms of how we promote our reserves and really try to connect with our audiences as well. And we're really trying to attract families. It's a whole new experience. Like my little girl said, I didn't know there was a kestrel in there because she hadn't looked up. It's just not a one experience. You can go on there multiple times and see different things.
Amazing stuff. Now, while so much has been achieved by so many in parks and green spaces across the land, those achievements can only be maintained and built upon by ensuring the next generation inherits that passion for parks and open spaces. It's something celebrity gardener Christine Walkden feels very strongly about, and she joins me now. So Christine, how do we do that? How do we inspire that next generation of volunteers and indeed people who want to make this sort of thing their career?
I think it's exposing them to these places and showing them what people enjoy from it. It's a case of getting them involved. There's nothing like ownership. And a youngster often just wanders around green spaces and parks, etc., and doesn't fully understand what they're about. Yet if you can get a youngster involved and show them about nature, show them the benefits, show them about exercise, show them people enjoying the space, they'll often then connect. I think it's the adult's responsibility to actually give them the lead and then let them run, because when they do run, youngsters really are inspirational and grasp that nettle and fully understand the magic of green spaces.
And talking of youngsters who understand the magic of green spaces, of course, we're now going to honour our Young Volunteer of the Year. And Christine, I think you can actually tell us who that winner is.
It is with considerable pride that I announce the winner of the Young Volunteer of the Year as Emma Pickering.
Well, thanks to Christine. And I can tell you that Emma is a junior ranger at Sandal Park in Doncaster. Emma has helped the junior rangers thrive and has attracted new members by getting in touch with schools to share the work that the rangers do. She's also taken it upon herself to link in with local shops and councillors to obtain donations of gardening equipment. And Emma, you've done all this while studying for your GCSEs. Why were you so keen to get involved?
Because it's just a chance to give back to the community, and it's getting young people into the park to care about it, to look after it, for that younger generation coming through who are actually going to protect the park as they get older. And actually, it's something that I would have got involved in if something like this had happened when I was younger. It's a green space that lots of the community use without really thinking about it. It's something that I know I use a lot. It's important to have it there. It's a social space, but it's also kind of a getaway from the town centre.
Well, Emma, we of course saw all the news coverage of the COP26 conference. The whole environmental issue is now very high up the agenda. What would be your message to politicians and leaders?
I would like to see action being taken, because I think it's really important, and if we don't start trying to protect the environment now, then it's going to be too late.
Well done to you, Emma. Keep up the good work. And thanks again to Christine Walkden, always a great supporter of the Green Flag Awards. So we've heard about some remarkable people who contributed to the success of some truly remarkable spaces, more than 2,000 spaces this year. But we wanted your ideas as to which of those spaces were the best of the best. We asked you to nominate the top 10 for our People's Award, and you didn't let us down. So here are the People's top 10 choices. Fantastic. And so that just about brings us to the end of this special celebration. Many congratulations to all of our award winners, and thanks to those who nominated them. Congratulations also to the 2,127 parks and green spaces proudly flying their green flags this year. Thanks to Paul Todd and his team for ensuring the green flag machine runs so smoothly, and to all the judges for giving so freely of their time and enthusiasm. Thanks to all the local authorities and organisations who work so tirelessly to achieve green flag status. Let's hope that next summer we'll be able to get back out on the road, taking our trusty bench with us, and once again hand over flags at real life events rather than virtual ones. Now, when the Green Flag Award winners were announced last month, we asked for buildings and landmarks to be lit up green in celebration. It's become a bit of a tradition in recent times, and once again, we weren't disappointed. I'm going to leave you with a selection of images of well-known landmarks going green as I bid you farewell and say, here's to the next 25 years of the Green Flag Awards. Goodbye.